Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another conversation piece with cooking, creating, and conversation. Y'all, time is moving, and moving. Y'all hear what I say? It has not stopped. It is always continual. Time moves even when we don't want to. Tomorrow, on the 26th of October, it will be my birthday. God has blessed me to see another year, y'all, to live another year. These past couple of years have been something else with COVID and different transitions and changes in my life, changes that God is doing in my life. And sometimes change does not come easy, y'all. But I got on here today to talk about time. I wanted to talk about time. I was out and about yesterday, and before I knew it, half the day was already gone. It seemed like it had went by so fast. And even this year itself, it just seemed like time has been moving so fast. And I was in prayer maybe about a week ago. And when I was in prayer, God was talking to me about time. He said, time is not winding up. Time is winding down. And I said, Lord, it's not winding up, it's winding down. And it kind of made me think about when I'm in the kitchen cooking, when you're doing a recipe and it has a specific time that it takes for that thing to bake. It takes a specific amount of time, depending on what it is, for it to bake to be ready. So at the beginning stages of the cooking of that thing, you set a timer. And when you set the timer in the beginning, almost like a timer on a clock, when you wind up a clock, that's winding up time. That's the beginning. But once you wind it up to a certain point, it begins to wind down. And so as time begins to wind down, that means it's getting closer to the ending of a thing. That time is winding down for a thing. And we know a lot of what we see going on in the world today, we see signs of time winding down. So what do we do now that time is winding down? It's important to make sure that we are getting the best out of time that God has given us. I would wake up some days and be like, Lord, it just doesn't seem like it's just enough time in the day. How many of y'all have been there where you're like, Lord, I just don't have enough hours in the day? So I started praying that prayer and talking to God about that. And y'all know what? God is so funny sometimes. He began to wake me up earlier. I said, well, Lord, I didn't want to lose no sleep, and getting the more time. I didn't want to lose no sleep, but he started waking me up earlier. So that's how you going to get your more time. You going to get up earlier and give up some of that sleep time. And that's how you going to gain more time. But it just made me think, more and more about how I'm dealing with the time that God has given me. We all get 24 hours in a day. When he created the days in the beginning, when he created everything, he separated the night from the day. 12 hours to rule the night and 12 hours to rule the day, which makes up our 24 hours. So even in the beginning of time, when God set the times for the day, do you not think that the time that he gave us was not enough time to do what he told us we're supposed to be doing, or what we should be doing? So if we feel like it's not enough time, maybe that's on us, that we're mismanaging the time that God has given us for things. It really, really, really made me think about that. Are you really being a good steward of the day and time that God has given you? Are you really planning out and prioritizing correctly what you should be doing throughout the day? Are you stewarding what God has given you to do throughout the day correctly? And this is even for me, y'all. This ain't just for everybody else. When God gives me something, he's dealing with me too, about being a good steward of the time that he gives us. Because time is the only thing that we can spend that we can't get back. That's the only thing that we spend that we cannot get back. Once your time is up, your time is up. And most of us don't know when that's going to be. We don't know how long we have. We just pray that we're a good steward of the time that we have, that God has given us. So it made me think about an activity that I did with my niece and my nephew that I should have probably continued myself, to give you a better perspective of your time and what it is that you're doing with your time. It'll show you what you're putting the most time into, and those things that we put the most time into are usually what we have the most value in. Those things that we're putting the most time into are usually those things that we have the most value in. So I gave them a notebook and a pen, and I had them write out all that they did in a day's time, from the beginning of your day until the ending of your day. And I think this is a good idea to even do in your home with your children and for yourself, to write out exactly what you do from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And that's going to show you what you're spending your time on. That's going to show you, what are you pouring this time in that God has given you? What are you pouring it into? You're saying you don't have it, but are you missing some hours in the day? Every hour should be accounted for. If they slept 8 hours, I told them, well, write down them 8 hours that you sleep. But most people don't sleep that full 8 hours. How long does it take you to eat a meal? Is that 20 minutes out of your day? Or is it 30 minutes out of your day? You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That time that you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is that maybe 30 minutes each meal? That's only an hour and a half out of your day. That's how many hours are we watching the Netflix and movies on TV, Disney Plus, Facebook, social media? How long are we scrolling on that Facebook? How long are we scrolling on that Instagram or that TikTok. I could be a witness to that. You start looking at it and you say, oh, I'm just going to look at it for a few minutes. And you scrolling and scrolling and flipping and scrolling. And next thing you know, 2 hours has passed. What could you have done in those 2 hours instead of being on that TikTok or being on that Facebook? This is for me too, y'all. This is for me too. To get my days in order, to get my time in order. How much time are we spending with God? Is that a big portion of our day? Or is he even calculated into our day at all? That'll show you where your priority is with him. How much time are you spending in prayer? How much time are you reading your word? How much time are you taking to minister to someone else? I know we all have jobs that we go to, hopefully. Hopefully we have one that we go to. Are you spending 8 hours at work? Or are some of us spending more than those 8 hours? So you're valuing your job over your children, over God. Is that balanced in? So it's just some things to ponder on, to think about. My prayer is that God help us to be better stewards of the time that we have. How much time are you spending with your children? So many people have passed away during this time. Did you find yourself saying, Lord, I don't even know why I'm going here right now. Lord, I wish I had more time with them. If he gave you that time, what would you do? Would you spend more time with them? Or would it be wasted time on something else? Because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Unless you're like Melchizedek in the Bible, which is a good story for you to read. He prayed and asked God, Lord, give me more time. I'm not ready to go yet. Give me more time. But one has to wonder, you asked for that more time, but what are you going to do with it? So my prayer before I get off here today is that God gives you more perspective and strategy to be more effective with the time that he has given us while we're here. I pray blessings over you and your family today, even though it's raining. It's a little chilly outside. I'm about to go take my sister some of these strawberry white chocolate Kit Kat Rice Krispie treats that I made yesterday. If you want to see the recipe, you can check out the Facebook page. I posted it on there, on my Instagram. You can look on there as well. I'm excited for my birthday tomorrow. If you think about me tomorrow, say a prayer for me or send me a happy birthday song or a happy birthday wish. It would be greatly appreciated. But until next time, bye y'all.